Welcome back, everyone, to another iterations of OP4 Mondays. Today, we're gonna play Rebecca as this leader just won a tournament over the East, and I wanted to test it out. I think it looked super cool. I actually watched the tournament, and I was really impressed with what the deck was trying to do, and I wanted to try it for myself and see what I can add to the mix or what I think are good or bad, decent cards in the deck. So let's go through the deck. The first thing I wanted to talk about was how the deck plays. It's basically just remove everything. It's trying to remove a lot of cards on the board, and then use your Luffy as your payoff, another card that removes cards. And eventually, when you have enough critical mass on board, that you're able to just start attacking the opponent, and then you're not gonna be able to defend you anymore after that. So the idea of the deck is to be able to just remove the opponent's board consistently and just combo out of everything, so you can start using the leader ability. And every turn you get to draw one card freely because of that reason. So that's very good. That's the whole reason to play the leader. You, for one energy, you look at the top two, you get a Dressrosa and the other one to the graveyard, to the trash, I guess. And now this leader does require a critical mass of Dressrosas in the deck, so you are a little bit limited on the kind of things that you can do. But the deck can still be built different ways based on what you want to do, because there is a way to make it more like removal heavy, to where you're just playing a lot of cost reduction, and all your removal is very efficient, like Leo, and then there is a lot that just also destroy something on play for like there is one or less. So you have a lot of ways to actually KO things. You can build it that way too, but this one is more like, there's also another way to build it where it's more like combo heavy, where you play like the Gungam Gorilla, I think is the name of the that one, that just allows you to give basically this guy, you give it plus 6k and dual attack. So it just takes 2 life and you can restand them. So basically you're taking 4 life. That's more like a combo deck that you're gonna be able to win that way. Again, there's just different ways to build it, but this is the general concept. I wanted to try some of the cards that are good or bad in the deck. So the first card is Giants. This one, when you play it, use your cards, your Dressrosa cards, can attack something inactive. So basically more removal, and it's another sack outlet for another card in the deck. Leo is one of the best removals in the deck, actually, because if you reduce the cost of something to 1 or less, you can destroy it. And against Zoro or something that is playing a lot of 1-drops, you just get a free 1-drop, destroy something, and you can attack whatever 1-drops they have with Leo, which is very, very nice. Rebecca is a searcher for the deck. Look at the top 4. I'm sorry, look at the top 3 for a Dressrosa card, so the whole deck basically. So it's basically never gonna miss. Then we have Ideo, is a blocker, a 2k blocker. Early on is very good because what the opponents are gonna de facto when they're gonna play against this leader is do early damage, so that way you have more than 6 cards in your hand and you're not gonna be able to use your leader ability. So then this way, if you play this guy, you're gonna be able to defend a couple of hits early on, and that way you can start using your leader ability. And it's very important that you use the leader ability every turn, so you have the engine going on for yourself. So yeah, it's a good card in the deck. Same with Bartolomeo. It's a no-brainer because it's a 2k counter that it has blocker, so you absolutely have to play this card. And it's Dressrosa, of course. Kairos is a card that you could play at 2 or more. It's very good in the mirror and in the black base decks. The problem is that it doesn't have any counter power, so you already have a lot of cards that don't actually have combo power, mainly over here. So sometimes, and over here, like sometimes your hands can get a little bit cloggy and you're not able to combo with anything, and that could be a really big issue. So adding too many of these ones could be like counter determined to the deck, but it still is a really nice card that if I could play more, I think I would just play more of this one, because it's a card that against black decks is extremely difficult to remove, and it's just something that is going to be attacking 5k every time, and it gives you a sticky threat, which the deck does need, because if they remove everything in your board, then your leader doesn't attack and you're going to have a bad time. I have Orlumbus. This guy sacks another card on your board and reduce the cost of something by 4k, by 4 energy. That's a really nice effect, and a good interaction with the leader, with this card, with Sabo, is that if you play Sabo first and then you use this guy's ability, your cards cannot be KO'd. You still get the -4, but you don't have to sack anything from your board. That is a very nice interaction that you have, and you can keep that on mind. So again, Sabo is a blocker, and it cycles the cards that you cannot combo out of your hand. So it's a really nice card in the deck. I really liked it, and it prevents everything from being KO for one turn. It's just an incredible card that you have to play at 4. Then we have this guy. I'm not gonna pronounce his name. I'm playing as a 2-of. I wanted to have more Dressrosas because if you miss too many times with the leader, it's terrible. Your deck doesn't do anything. And so this one seemed like the better one that has a counter power. It reduces the cost of something for a -4, so you can use your removal on something else too. So I thought this looked like the best card that you could play on this spot. And it also gains rush with the field spell, so it's fun. It's a good card. I liked it for that reason. Luffy, the whole engine of the deck, what it does is you can attack cards in active mode. So that on itself is a really good ability. And then also on top of that, you can send to the bottom of your deck 7 Dressrosa cards, and then you get to restand them. So it's a really nice ability if you have the Gungam Gorilla, because you get to attack for dual attack and basically just kill the opponent out of nowhere. Or you just get to remove something for free because they basically have to have 2 blockers to be able to stop him at that point. So it's a really nice card for the deck. I'm playing Isho because I think it's really nice with this leader. Since you're not going to be able to attack them early on, they're going to have a fat hand. And playing this on curve, you're going to be able to punish them super hard for not comboing out of the leader or taking life when they shouldn't. Then Kusan is really good in the mirror, mainly more than anything, or black-based decks. Because if you're able to KO their setup to destroy your Kusan will take over the game. So I still wanted to play it as a 2-of. But it's difficult to see which numbers are correct on this one. I put it as a 2 and 2 because I do want to see him, but I don't want to see him too many. Because then against aggressive decks, you're going to have a really bad time. Barrier is a 2k counter, but it becomes a 4k counter if you have 15 or more cards in your graveyard. So it works well with the leader, but sometimes you actually send back cards to your deck and you don't have it active. So it's kind of difficult to manage. That's why I don't play it as a 4. Just as a 2-of, just to have it in the late game to save you from something. It's good enough. 3,000 swords, I think is amazing versus everything. And if you have cost reduction, you can just basically have the Gungam Red Rock ability on a 4 cost. The problem, and why I'm splitting with a Red Rock, is because you don't always get to do that. Like, you don't always have the setup for cost reduction, and then you need to get rid of like a Flamingo or it doesn't matter, like something that is big, and you need to get rid of like on site. So having the Red Rock is just another way to answer those cards. So that's why I did a 2-2 split. I'm not sure if this is the right number, but again, you can play the deck to have more cost reduction, and having blue, like more blue bounce spells or removal spells like this one that are more impactful, and it would be probably even like about equally as good. But yeah, that's for another day, I guess. The leader does require you to be like Dressrosa heavy, so take it for what it will, right? Now we have Trueno Bastardo. We have it's a 4. I'm playing as a 3-of because it's searchable out of the leader. But this one is also another removal spells 4 or less, and it's 6 or less if you have X amount of Dressrosas in the graveyard. So it's another removal spell that you have that is like efficient with the leader. And if you have cost reduction, you get to reach anything. So that's why I'm playing it as a 3. I think these numbers could be modified however you like, however you feel more comfortable with. But I'm just I think these numbers are correct, and you want to have them early on so you can start removing everything that the opponent plays, and the idea is that you take over with these powerful cards in the top end. And lastly, I have the Coliseum, the only effect that it has is that it gives every card in your every Dressrosa that you have, it gives them rush, so you can attack with them immediately, but only into characters, I think. Um, so yeah, I mean that's a good ability still, because with Luffy, that's just you need to find these two cards, so the Luffy is more impactful. And I think two is the right number, although sometimes if you don't see it on time, it could be a problem because you do want the Luffy to have rush to be more impactful than anything else. But yeah, let's go see the deck. I thought the deck was really amazing. Let's go see how it works. All right, I'm so sorry about this game. I forgot to hit record, but nothing has happened here yet. He plays Sanji's Pilaf on turn 2. My turn 1 was just play the field spell plus use the leader ability. And now we're going into our turn 4 energy. I'm gonna play the 4-drop, which is gonna allow me to develop a bit of pressure. And nice, something to remember here is that Nami is gonna have a good matchup against us, and he bounces back my Rebecca to the hand, which is fine. At least I guess he's trying to force me to not be able to use my leader ability. But we're gonna be able to do so either way. And I'm debating whether I want to attack or not. And that is something that is hard to judge, but I do want to start doing some damage, and I think I want to get the Sabo because it's a blocker and it's something that I can attack with. But I might as well gonna attack with the 6k because I need to start dealing damage. And my opponent is doing something very smart, which is defending his life, because the later attacks are gonna be harder for him to defend. So defending early on is very good for him. And also it doesn't allow you to play into the Iso, although you don't have a way to not play around the Iso, because the Iso just gonna get you either way. So this is the best card that I can that you can play against this leader for sure. And then it's gonna give me a good value engine here to be able to finish the game on time. Now he's gonna force me to combo out of this one or mill 7, and then if he mills 7, I probably just lose the game right there. So I do have to be careful and not allow him to just be able to mill me out of that game. And here I do want to get rid of this one by all means. So if he like force me to like remove that one for sure, then I mean if he defends that one super hard, I need to play the Sabo so I can. I was gonna play the Sabo either way, but I mean that way I don't have to. To do it like that. And I'm gonna play the blocker here because blockers are very good against what he's trying to do. So yeah, I just wanna have a good chance here. I could block with the Sabo. I forgot that I had the Sabo. Honestly, I should have just blocked with the Sabo. But it's fine. He's gonna keep all his energy up, so he's not gonna make any play. On I'm just gonna attack. This is the turn that I have to attack. I'm trying to get the my opponent to more than 5 cards in hand, so he's forced to take the damage, but that's fine. I'm not gonna use the leader ability because it's not consequential really. I'm just trying to get the cards out so I can deal damage, because I haven't been able to deal 0 damage in this game. But at least we're starting to get there. We're starting to get some cards, and now the Luffy is gonna be another card that I can play. He's gonna have rush, but I'm just gonna attack with what I have on board, which is enough. I have 1 blocker, so that's gonna be able to protect something on my board, and I have to deal the damage here because I mean he's comboing out of everything, and I mean sure. And then attack for 9, and then attack for 9, and then I'm just gonna use my blocker here. I'm just gonna attack with everything, and I'm gonna force him to. I don't think he's playing Usopp, because he's playing the other one, the 4-cost one, so I don't really think he's using Usopp. But my opponent was really lucky to get us like draw 2s, draw like everything out of the life, so he's actually getting close to milling out. But this turn I'm just gonna attack, and he didn't attack my blocker, so he's fine. He attacked my 4-drop, so that one actually died. He's comboing out of the hand here. He's not expecting a 3rd Iso, so that's fine. I agree, it was not gonna happen. But he does want to attack with the 4-drop, and I have to kill it, because if I don't kill it, But that's a nice place on my opponent's end too. Like even if I kill it, he's gonna be able to mill 3 cards, so he gets closer to his win condition. So he milled 6 cards out of that card because of that reason. So yeah, it was really nice. He has 9 cards left. All the cards in his hand have to be able to be counters that you can draw for, because now I have a critical mass of cards that is gonna be able to win me the game. I'm gonna draw for turn. I draw the removal spells for the blockers, so that's probably gonna guarantee the game here, but we'll see. I'll attack for 10 first, because they have to do some good numbers to try to combo out of that one. And then I'll attack for 10 in this one, because he has to use his whole hand. And then I don't expect him to be able to combo out of this one, but maybe. It's 12. It's kind of difficult. He needs another Death Wink, and he needs to get lucky out of life to be able to combo out of that one. Yeah, so he's not able to. Now, this is a good matchup for Nami, I think. I think they do have enough time to just do whatever they want and just get to the late game and just mill themselves out. I think people are going to play her just to answer this deck. If this deck becomes like a large part of the meta. But yeah, I mean, I did draw a little bit above average with the 3 Isos. I mean, 2 Isos and a Kusan. That was very important for me to be able to just mill Dao. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's how I built the deck to do. That's what I wanted to do with the deck. Okay, and we're gonna play against Black Lucy here. As I'm saying, Black will have some problems versus this deck. Now we have the Kairos, which the Kairos is probably the best card that we have against them. We're gonna be going first, I think. Yeah, they always want to go second, I think. So first, but that's the nice thing about our leader, right? We get to use the leader ability immediately, even if we're going first. So we don't have to. We do have that card draw built into the leader. All right, and we're gonna play against Rob Lucy, and we're gonna keep this hand because it's very good. And they're gonna force us to go first, but that's the nice thing about the leader. If you're going first, you're still able to just search out of the top 2 cards, and that's very nice. And I'm gonna prioritize here this Coliseum over the Luffy, because I'm only playing 2 Coliseums, and they allow the other Luffys to have rush, and that's just gonna be very important. And also the other Luffys are gonna be able to recycle the one that I just put into the graveyard. So it is just very important that you find the Coliseum early on if you can. So that's why I chose to pick that one up. Now I play Kairos. Kairos is gonna be a headache for him to deal with because this card just cannot be KO by opponent effects. So I mean, it can be KO, but it's gonna take multiple removal spells at that point. Because if you have the field spell and the leader, then it has 2 extra lives. So it's basically gonna be there until there is removed by like a bunch of attacks, and that's just not really good for what you're trying to do, right? It is very difficult to get rid of him, and that's nice to know. That's nice to it's nice to have a card like that in this leader that cannot attack, because it's a sticky threat that the opponent just cannot deal with. Here he's gonna attack for 7, and you should opt to attack for like a big numbers with this deck, because the leader doesn't work if you have like too many cards in your hand. So you do want to force them to actually just get rid of cards from their hand whenever it's possible. And here I attack with Kairos, forcing some cards out of my opponent's hand, and see he seems to be start to play around the A drop, and I could just not attack him and still get the A drop effect, but I think I just should get some pressure into my opponent, force him to see how he wants to play, force him to make the misplay. That's mainly what I want to do, right? Now, into 6 energy, there could be a Kusan that can destroy my my 4-drop. He could attack with the leader, play a 4-drop. I mean, he also could just be playing around removal. Many things that could happen here. I'm just gonna see what he does. He just plays the Kaku, so he's playing a more like a CP9 engine heavy deck. And Kaku doesn't do anything without the having extra cards in the graveyard, but it doesn't matter here because even if he would destroy my 3-drop here, I would just protect it with the field spell. And here, apparently my opponent didn't know this, but yeah, I mean, I just get to protect it by being by battle just by using my field spell. So a small misplay from my opponent's end, but I mean, it wouldn't have mattered either way. I mean, he would just attack my leader for 6, and I would have just combo a 2k. And sure, I mean, from here on, it is more difficult for me to judge like exactly how the matchup is gonna go. But I mean, that's just a small misplay. It's not gonna win or lose the game here. I don't think so. This one I just play it because I want to have a 1-drop that I can sack to my removal spell here. And this one only removes 4 or less, so that's why I have to use this ability this way. But now I have less cards in my hand, and I can search my Rebecca, and Rebecca gives me something else, and I still feel I start to fill my graveyard, which is what I want to start. I want to start doing, right? Here I'll attack. I could not have attacked and guarantee myself next turn to play the Izo, but might as well attack. I mean, here I still guarantee my Izo here at this spot, so I should be okay. And we took a life from my opponent here, so we are in a pretty good spot at the moment. My opponent doesn't have anything on the board, and we have the better board here for the upcoming. Like whatever he plays, he's just gonna get removed for free. So that's very nice for me. He plays the Sakatsuki, however, so if I don't attack, he wouldn't play around that anyway, and I wouldn't have taken the life. So either way, that was the best play that I could have done here. So he would have played around the Izo either way. So good on my opponent for realizing that he needs to do that. And here, again, I'm just going to combo out of every attack that I can, because the longer the game goes, the better for me, because I have an inherent leader ability that is going to give me too much advantage for him to deal with. And here, I'm forcing my opponent to react to this attack. He can combo a 1k and then keep lowering their hand size, which allows me to be able to remove Sakatsuki easier with my Luffy. Or he can use... and then here, he doesn't seem to have any like 1k or 2k counters. So he's forced to use the Impact Wave on this attack, which is amazing for me. Now I'm able to just play the Luffy and attack his Sakatsuki. Well, I think he thought that he could only I could only attack with one creature because of my because the leader ability doesn't allow you to attack with anything else. But since I have the Luffy, I'm able to just attack for 9 here, and then I ask my opponent, "Do you want to give me 2 cards to save this guy?" And then I'm also, if you do, I'm gonna restand it and attack it again. And let's say he just has 4 2k counters, and he saves the this card from being removed. His next turn is gonna be attacking the Luffy, trying to remove it, and then deal me 1 damage. And then after that, you have 0 cards in hand basically at that point. So it's like I'm gonna win the game either way. And he opts to save it 1 time, forcing me to use the Luffy ability. Now that could be okay, could not be okay. It doesn't really matter. That forces me to use my Luffy ability, and he won't be able to untap next turn. So for what it's worth, at least it forces me to do some plays right here. But yeah, now I'm asking for another 2/2Ks, and yeah, let's just let him go. Now he has completely played around my Izo, so now I will still probably play next turn because we're in a good hand size here. My opponent could have attacked my leader first. Well, if he attacked for 6 because he was gonna play this guy, it didn't matter because I did have the 2k counter, and I was gonna combo a 2, of course. But he should have at least tried to deal me the damage, so the Izo would have gotten 2 cards out of my hand. Now here I'm just gonna attack for 5, see what he wants to do, and I'm debating whether or not I want to play the 9-drop myself. But I'm gonna use the leader ability first for that reason. And we actually got the Sabo, and the Sabo is pretty amazing here because it's gonna give us a blocker to protect our Luffy, and it's gonna be able to cycle these 2 cards that are just now dead in the matchup, like I could play the A-drop, but it's not that efficient, to be honest. So, and it gives me protection from destruction. And I should have played the blocker and then the Sabo, because it gives protection to everything. But I just messed up my order here. I just didn't remember how the destruction works here. Now he plays Blueno and attach an energy to it that gives him a blocker. And sure, that's fine. It's not the worst thing that could happen. But I think he needs to start trying to like remove one of my cards, some of my cards, because I mean, eventually you're gonna get outgrind by what I have on board. And we do have enough counters here, although just to note, we don't have enough 2K. Like we don't. This is only a 2K counter. It's not a 4K counter because we just use the Luffy's ability. So that's why it is what it is, right? And now he attacks for 9. We just easily block that one. We don't need to waste cards from our hand because our hand is limited. And then he attacks for 5. But Sabo is also a 6K blocker, so it's just free to block right here. And then let's go. And now we have the option, and we're gonna get the Luffy, another Luffy, because Rush is really good against black decks. And yeah, we have the option to just destroy the Iso here, and that's what I'm gonna do, just because we can. Sorry. And then we have Luffy is gonna just and I'm just counting if I have enough cards to restand my Luffy, because that will matter, of course. And I do have enough, so then I'll just attack the Iso, and then he's gonna force me to use my Luffy ability, and then that's another. But at least I'm gonna be able to attack again and get rid of the Iso for sure, and that's just very good for me. And then I'll attack again, and yeah, I mean we just get rid of that one. His board is not impressive, but it's fine. I'm just gonna attack with Sabo because I have enough life to where I'm not gonna die this turn. And I just do want to pressure my opponent's cards here because he only has 2 cards in hand. And the only other thing that he can do with his energy is just attack with the cards that he has on board. So as long as I can proactively destroy everything in his board, I will start to do that because that's how you do. But I'm still going to attack the leader because we have to get this game going and we have to finish the game at some point, right? But from here, I found it difficult to lose this game. Maybe if he plays a 10-drop Kusan, but the 10-drop Kusan wouldn't deal with the Luffy, and the Luffy can just attack it directly. However, not this Luffy, because this Luffy is freeze. It's not going to untap this turn. So this will be the best turn to play something like a Kusan. But my opponent doesn't have it, so it's fine on my end. And then he's going to play 2 blockers that cannot be KO'd, and then he's gonna attack for 7 into the Sabo. And yeah, just combo a 2K counter, and I'm gonna combo the one that I need to keep up energy with. Oh well, I don't have any other 2K counter, so I just have to combo that one. But yeah, I'm just gonna use the combo that I have for sure. Then I'm expecting to be my turn. Okay, the Luffy doesn't stand, as I was saying, but I can just play this Luffy, and I can force the attack on the Blueno. I assume he's gonna block with the, or he can just let it die and get a blocker, or something else that he can attack for next turn. But I'm gonna be able to attack it anyway, so that's what I was trying to do. And then here, I could attack for 6, force him to either block and take the damage. But if he blocks, it's fine with me because I'm just gonna attack with Sabo. And he's still in the same spot that he was last turn. He just either protects this one, or he's just going to 0 to 1, and it's much easier for me to attack. And then yeah, I'm just keep attacking the board because I mean I'm not gonna kill him anytime soon. But as long as I can keep control of the board and I can keep my own, I'm gonna be able to win eventually, right? It is what it is. It's how it works with this leader. Then I use my leader ability because I hadn't used it, and just get another 1K counter. So I have a good combo hand, so I should be fine for the rest of the game. I think here there is just no way that he can go through 4 life and also has to remove my board. So yeah, I feel like confident on this matchup already. He plays another blocker, but the nice thing about the Luffy's is that they don't care about the whether or not you're playing blockers or not. And he keeps playing the cards out of his hand because he needs to establish a board to be able to do anything. But this card, the Kairos, has been so amazing against him. Like every time attacking for 5, 5, 5. He's just been able to pressure him, and he's at 2 life. He still doesn't have cards in hand. Like he's in a really rough spot right now to be able to win this game. And here he attacks for 6, but that's inconsequential. Like he just comboed something from my hand, and I'm gonna have a good time here. And then here, yeah, he has to pass unless he wants to attack with the Borsalino, which is gonna make it easier for me to attack it and clear his board. But he wants to untap with all of this. But the nice thing about the Luffy is that he doesn't care what you want to do, because I can just attack everything in your board. And I'm gonna attack with Kairos first into the card that the Kairos cannot attack because it's untapped. And then I'm gonna attack with the Luffy. With the Luffy into the Borsalino, because if he wants to out combo out of this Borsalino, I can definitely for sure just get rid of all the other cards on the board, because he won't have any cards in hand to defend me, right? I attack this Borsalino, see if he wants to combo again. He might combo out of this one because because I don't have any more attackers that can attack active. But I have my Luffy now. I can attack for 8. I guarantee the kill here, and he will only have 2 attacks for next turn, and that should be fine still either way. I'm gonna keep my Sabo untapped because I don't want to hit anything out of life, and I want to keep a blocker just for my Luffy's, which is gonna win me the game eventually. So yeah, at some point you're just gonna win the game because they don't have any resources to combat you, and your leader is gonna keep grinding, keep grinding, keep grinding. I'm gonna keep recycling the Luffy's and keep gonna recycle your cards, and eventually just gonna win because the opponent cannot do anything else. Like, it's just you grind them out of existence at that point, which is really nice. It's what the deck wants to do, and it's what I saw the guy do on the tournament. Okay, and we're gonna play against Law. This matchup, I'm not sure how it will go, but I did keep the 1-drop that can KO another 1-drop just in case, because I don't know exactly. Yeah, okay, so look, the bunny is gonna be really good against me because I'm not gonna be able to attack it back. So the fact that I can have an answer immediately is gonna be really important, right? And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I get to play it, destroy the bunny, and also use the Rebecca's ability to get another removal spell. In this case, and I'll get another one of the of that one, so I have it on the ready just in case. And then we'll see what my opponent goes from here. See if he wants to develop a board. If he does, then I'm able to start using my removal spells and start getting rid of what my opponent is trying to do. However, my opponent opts to just attack me for 9, just forcing me to just combo, play these cards, and then I have to go from here. So yeah, because I'm forced to do this, I definitely would just use this one, get rid of some Luffy's, because I have too many in my hand, and just one Luffy alone will be able to untap the other ones, so I don't need that many. So it will be just fine here. Sabo prevents my cards from being KO'd, and it gives me a blocker here just in case I want to block what my opponent's doing. But my opponent just goes all in here. It just attacks another 11. And now I'm not saying that's incorrect, because I haven't done any damage to him, and eventually he's going to be able to do 1-drop, 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 1-drop swap, and then I have to deal with that. So I think this is actually correct for what my opponent is doing. In the meantime, I am going to start attacking, because if my opponent is not doing anything, I have to start doing something myself, right? Because if he keeps attacking for 11, 11, 11, I'm never going to be able to win. So I have to force him to start playing his cards, and I start using mine in response. Now, if he wants to attack my Sabo, it's fine, because it definitely just gives like a bump to my leader. And if he just wants to use all the energy just to attack him, that is also fine, because I mean, it's just okay. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with that. He uses Otama Jet Pistol to get rid of the Luffy, which is fine because that way I don't have a way to. Actually, that Luffy was really important because I combo out of. I removed 3 other Luffy, so I don't have the Luffy ability to. I only have 1 more Luffy in my deck, so yeah, that was an important Luffy for him. A good Otama Jet Pistol here. But I'm gonna use this guy so I can KO the Otama, and then I'm gonna use some removal because I have too much, and I have to keep the board clear. Use my leader's ability so I can play. Oh, you can play the blocker now, so that's gonna be really good. And I'm just gonna attack with Sabo for 2. If he wants to combo, that's fine. If he doesn't want to combo, it's fine as well. And then I'm gonna play my blocker for sure because I definitely cannot a combo if he goes all in, and I just wanna have the options, right? And I think this is the turn where he start going 1-drop, 1-drop, 1-drop swap. He can easily do it with 5 energy, with 10 energy. So if he has a couple of 1-drops that he's been sandbagging, he's definitely gonna be able to get there. So this is where the game actually starts. And Brook is gonna be really amazing too because it's gonna add pressure and it's gonna allow him to attack big with the leader. Now I wonder if he forced me to attack with the to block with the Bellamy. We'll see. I think I just definitely have to block either way, even if he attacks just for 7 because I don't have a 2k counter. But he just plays it safe and attacks for 8, so I'm forced to block. And then let's see what else he's gonna try to pull here. Okay, so he does have a Zoro, and Zoros are really good against me, but at least he has to commit energy. He won't be able to swap if he does want to do that. And he attacks for 7. I have to use my 2 blockers here to defend it, so that's not ideal because I do want to cycle some of these cards out of my hand. But I cannot lose the Sabo. Is the only pressure that I have going for myself. So yeah, I attack the Bunny because it's the one that I can attack with. I'll attack the Sabo with Sabo, I'm sorry. And I will use one of my removal spells. Maybe I could have used the Red Hawk instead. And I get my last Luffy. I'm just looking for the field spell at this point. That's what I'm missing, so I can start so I can give Rush and I can clear his board, and then I'm gonna be in a good spot. But we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I should have used Red Rock instead of the other one because attacking with this guy wasn't that impactful. And the Red Rock is more mana intensive, so it was probably gonna be better that way. But whatever. I already this is a learning game too for me. I wasn't sure how this matchup was gonna go. I don't know what my opponent could be playing because there's some new cards out of the new set that could fit into any deck and make him really good. So for what it's worth, and he attacks the one that I can attack his cards, so that's fine. And then yeah, I definitely have to let it die. There's no way I can protect that one. For what it's worth, the one cost counter is gonna be worth 4k counter. So yeah, it is very good for me right now. He plays Chopper, which is not something that I want to see. He plays a second one. Again, it's not something I want to see. And yeah, I mean, the fact that the leader doesn't attack like this rested Brook is a big issue for the deck, for sure. And okay, my opponent is deciding what to do here. Okay, he's just gonna attack with Makimo. Oh no, he's gonna play the Makimo, so he can swap something. I mean, definitely not ideal because now if he does use the Makimo, I won't be able to attack it back with the 1-drop, and that was a misplay on my end, attacking with this 1-drop. I think it was really important that I didn't. But I'm definitely gonna have to protect this one because I cannot allow that one to die. But we're getting to the bottom of his hand, and he's running low on blockers now, I want to say. Well, he plays the Law. He's going to bounce back the Zoro, I assume. No, he bounces back the Brook. Interesting. I guess he can attack with the Brook with the... Oh no, he's just gonna play a Nami. And he has the Brook there. So I would have attacked the Sawa at that point, right? Was probably better. But I definitely just let that one die because, I mean, he's just gonna die. Here, that was a good draw here because I'm gonna be able to get rid of one blocker. And I'm gonna use the leader ability. I'm gonna get a 2k here. I think is the best card. Although I did want the Dressrosa card so I can get rushed to my Luffy. And I'm just gonna use Red Rock so I can get rid of the Law. And I'm gonna attack for 7k here into the Zoro. See if he wants to block. We'll see from there. He might be a little bit scared of blocking because maybe he doesn't have too many blockers in hand. And then he only has 1 life. So it's gonna be difficult for him to also like win if I just attack him. Now he does have a good play here. If he wants to, he can just remove my Sabo and my Leo, and then I have to rebuild. But if I have the Luffy, which he knows I do, then I can just clear everything else, and it will be good for me, right? So it is not terrible. We'll see how it works here. He plays the Makimo. He's going to be really good with Chopper because he's going to be able to attack the Sabo and attack me directly, basically. Yeah. He's going to force me to use cards here, which I don't have too many, so I cannot. And then this is a matchup with the other Law. Would be really good to counteract this, where they have a lot of 1-drops. Then you go clear 1-drop, clear 1-drop, clear 1-drop, and also develop your board at the same time. We'll see here. I mean, he's gonna force me to take a life for sure. And he attacks with Robin first. And he clears the Leo. That's fine. Definitely not something that I want to see yet. I think I'm super behind this game. And yeah, he's going to force a life here, but I don't think I have anything to come back right now. I need the field spell here. Sabo is okay, but it's not good enough. I'm going to play the Luffy, and I'm going to make a misplay here because I thought this guy get rushed. What it does is that you can attack active mode, but that already happens on Luffy. So I'm definitely just gonna concede here because I cannot survive next turn. Just having the Luffy there is not gonna win me the game, and yeah, I'm just not gonna be able to survive next turn. I don't think. He has too many attacks. I only have 2k counters, and even if I survive, I don't think I have game either because he has a Chopper, and I have to be able to attack with 2 cards, and the only card that can attack is the Luffy. So I definitely won't be able to win next turn, and I won't be able to survive the next one. So I just concede here. I definitely was also a little bit of a misplay with this guy, but I don't know if I would have been able to do that. I think you have to construct this deck on a different matter, like with more removal heavy, so you can combat this leader, and you have more answers for this. What he's trying to do. It is what it is. This was a bad matchup for me at the moment. I'll have to test it out more to see if it's like a complete horrible matchup. But we'll see. Okay, and we're gonna play the mirror. We got 1 second. We have Rebecca and the field spell, so we are okay. I feel confident right now. My opponent adds a Luffy, I think, and he does basically the same play, and also searches with the leader. So his turn 1 was actually kind of amazing. I made a mistake here. I didn't choose the Rebecca by accident. I cannot attack the Rebecca this turn. So I was a little bit confused as to what happened. I just misclicked. I'm not used to the car, so but it's fine. I mean, it's not gonna affect too much the game. I don't think so. And I'm gonna use the Rebecca's ability, and I'm gonna get another one because I know this car is very good in this matchup, right? And here I'm gonna be. He plays the Ouroboros, which is actually very decent with the Rebecca now. So I do get a little bit punished by not being able to use the ability here, but it is what it is. It's fine. And here I could play the Sabo, but I don't think this turn I should play it. And I have enough protection for my Kairos here that I should just play this one. I played this one and I clicked again by accident, so it is fine. It is not the biggest problem, but yeah, I double misclick on this guy again, and but it's not the biggest problem. Like here, I could play this guy, be able to attack something in the in active mode, but I don't want to. I mean, he wants to get rid of the cards on his hand so he can use the leader ability. So I feel like if I do that, he's still gonna do it. I'm just not gonna advance my game state here. So I'd rather just do this here. And he forces me to tap my field spell, which I will do, of course. And then he attacks it with this guy, and I will combo a 1k or whatever so I can protect it, because I have to protect him from removal, which he's representing for energy, and he might just do that. I think that's what he was setting up for. Like, I just let it die with the Rebecca, and then he just destroy it with like the Kairos card. Now here I definitely play the Iso because I just get 2 cards out of him, and I think I got 2 of the removal spells, so that was actually very nice. And I'm not gonna attack the leader again because he wants to use the cards. I want him to. Well, I mean, he's just gonna try to play around the Iso again, so I might as well just do this way, and that way I don't have to do anything. And he's just gonna play the cards out of his hand, so he doesn't get punished by that one again. And I'm okay with that, because he did that, my Kusan is gonna be much more protected, much well protected. And he's gonna attack my card in active mode, but it doesn't matter because I can just protect it with my Coliseum. And then I'm ahead right now, and I'm finally gonna be able to play the Kusan. And now I highly doubt that he's gonna have some answers for the for Kusan now, because he needs one of those guys again, and he needs a removal spell on top of that. And not only any removal spell, he needs a bigger setup to be able to deal with my Kusan. However, this card is very decent for to get rid of my Kusan, because he's gonna be able. It has Rush because of the field spell, and he gives it 6k because of the Gungam. And he's just gonna attack for 13k. However, I do have enough to out combo to that one, and saving the Kusan is just gonna give me a lot of value here. So I definitely do want to do that. And I use my Rebecca's ability, and I have enough removal here to where if he wants to defend this, it's gonna cost him all the cards in his hand, and then some, right? I'm gonna attack this guy now for 8. He's not gonna remove it, but now I have 2 cards that he wants to remove, and that's the spot that I want to be on, right? I could use Leo right now, and that's what I'm gonna do. I use Leo, so I force the interaction out of my opponents, and I force to remove that one, the Kairos. Because the Kairos is one of the best cards in this matchup for sure, because it's hard to remove, and that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to. I will be the only one having a Kairos here, and that's what I wanted to plan for. And here he needs a Luffy to be able to deal with anything here. Mainly my Kusan. He does want to get rid of my Kusan, but now instead of that, he just get rid of my Luffy, which is fine. But I mean, I will be able to get rid of the Luffy back here. He has another Cavendish for what it's worth, so I have to play around that a little bit. And then he uses the Luffy, but the Luffy can only attack the... Oh, I guess he can just leave it standing. Okay, that's fine. That's a good play. But I do have the removal for that one. So I'm just gonna remove it and start attacking. Attacking for 5, attacking for 6, and I have to use my Rebecca's ability, so that's why I attack for 7 here and start dealing the damage. Oh, I forgot to use my Rebecca's ability here, but I definitely should have used the Rebecca's ability. Now my opponent's still probably digging just for a Luffy, so he can deal with what I have on board. And now he can just deal with the Kusan, but it's not that easy. He needs a Gum and a Luffy, which now he does have. So, okay, so he deals with that one, and he gets to restand it too, if he wants to. And he probably does, because, I mean, it's free to restand it, to be honest. And he can just attack me, deal me 2 damage. But I think, yeah, keep it on standing is fine. I could play the Kusan, but that's not actually a good idea, because he can just remove it. So I might as well just deal 2 damage here for 9-9, and I know that he cannot remove my Kairos easily. So I'm just gonna deal the 2 damage, and I put him on show me blockers that I can just remove with my removal spells, and then I can just attack you for game next turn. And he can definitely not remove my Kairos this turn. So yeah, I just do Coliseum. I don't have to do anything else. And I have a 4K counter if I want to too. And then yeah, I use Rebecca here. He might be able to remove that, like one of them. But I don't think he will be able to remove both. Okay, so he uses one to remove that one. And then he might be able to remove both. Okay, so he does remove both. So he puts me on a difficult spot here that I have to kill him for next turn. I played the Kusan just so I can remove his guy. He's gonna definitely spend all his energy trying to kill my Kusan with the Luffy. And that will be fine. I just need to eventually develop enough bodies so I can kill him. And okay, so he plays the Cavendish, which I did know about. And then he does Gum into Luffy's ability, and he uses Rebecca here. And I'm just waiting here. I get the Sabo. Sabo is definitely going to draw me 2 cards, discard 2. I'm going to use the sword so I can get rid of Cavendish, so he cannot attack my guy inactive. And the Luffy cannot restand, so we're good on that end. He plays Sabo. Maybe he was thinking that he could remove my Sabo, but Sabo protects itself. And yeah, that's game. I mean, he needed a 3,000 swords to be able to survive this turn. That's why I play Sabo, because Sabo is just hard to remove here. And then from here, it's just gonna be easy to win the game. He uses the leader ability, attacks, and I just combo at 2k to save my my Sabo, and that just game. And then I had another Sabo. Just in case I drew another Sabo, so it was gonna be difficult for him to get rid of that one. So yeah, it came down to the last thing. I think I could have also won if I just go play a bunch of 1-drops or whatever, and then put it on my opponent to win the game. Not that easy. But yeah, it was really good for us for this matchup. Yeah. All right, and to our final thoughts on the deck. This was a really impressive deck. I need more testing, of course. When we're close to OP4, I will be testing it more and see where the weak matchups are where we can improve to make a more refined list. This was a good start to a good list to start with, and I really like what the deck was trying to do. Maybe Red Rock. I don't know if it's a 2-of. Maybe you have to cut a little bit. Maybe you have to make it different. Sometimes I felt like I have too many cards that I couldn't combo with. So I don't know exactly where I would mess with. So I can fit more like the curve where it has to be, where it needs to be. So you have like the most efficient value curve and threats value, right? But yeah, it was still a very nice deck to play. I really enjoyed playing it, and it's nice to see that other decks can thrive in this deck. Like all the leaders that I've played so far seem really good. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that they're keeping up with that vision that just make other colors viable, and we'll see where the meta develops from here, right?